Being someone's mother, wife, or girlfriend will never compare to the title of just being yourself. Amen, sis. What's up, guys? It's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer, and welcome back to my channel, where today we're taking a look at some posts written by women of varying ages who are finding out that they are much happier and content with their lives if they remain single. Now, we all know that throughout history, women have been raised, as a broad generalization, to consider finding a good husband to be the most important task of their lives. And even today, I know I was raised on Disney movies, and Mighty Mouse was my first boyfriend when I was about 6. So even little girls are just, brought up to believe that you're a real person if you are paired off. And so the concept of growing up, finding your prince, living happily ever after, that is really just such a part of modern culture, at least here in the States, that we don't even really think about it. It just is the way it is. And that may be why the growing wave of women who are choosing to avoid seeking relationships and who are even choosing to avoid just casually dating is causing quite a stir. Society tells women practically from birth that their focus is to find the one, your man, your person, however you want to call it. That is generally always on your mind, at least as a young woman. It was for me. I was boy crazy, ridiculously boy crazy, always listening to music on my Walkman and, daydreaming of the perfect man that was going to come along and we were going to be so happy and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that may just be a condition of being young, but there are plenty of younger women even today who are choosing not to get involved in the relationship game. And because of that, obviously, choosing not to reproduce. And society doesn't know what to do with these women. What do they do with these women who are choosing to buck the system and not get married and not have kids? There's a lot of people out there that would say, just shut up about it. Like, you're free now. It's the 21st century. You don't want to get married? Don't get married. You don't want to have kids? Don't have kids. And to that, I always say, yeah, we wish that everybody thought like that, like you. We wish that nobody had a problem with it, but society has a problem with it. A large portion of society has a problem with it. So let's take a look at some posts explaining why exactly so many women are finding peace in, as the kids say these days, decentering relationships. But first, on every video on this channel, I take a moment to encourage all animal lovers out there. Please consider fostering or volunteering on site for your local animal shelter. This little angel is Ella Fitzgerald, and she's my current foster. She's been here for 3 weeks. She was one of 50 dogs seized in a hoarding case, and she was very, very traumatized. I don't think she ever left that house. She seems very, very, unfamiliar with walking on a leash or being outside or any of that, which is tragic. And she has clearly had a couple of litters. So I think it was a puppy mill situation, but she's good now. And she lets me pick her up and she kind of lets me love on her. So she's making progress. And that's the great thing about working with animals, is that they can turn around. They don't hang on to their trauma in the same way that humans do. So you can really make a difference in a short amount of time. You're such a good girl. Anyway, if you love animals, please consider fostering or volunteering on site with your local animal shelter. You can do your little part to help save the world. Do it for the animals. Thanks. Okay, first post is from the sub Single and Happy by user Head Educator. And from what I can tell with this post, this is a gay woman writing. I'm straight and I tend to talk about men and women and hetero relationships on this channel. But I mean, these things apply to any kind of relationships, whether you're gay, straight, bi, whatever, everyone is human, and we all have the same problems. So, especially when it comes to relationships. So, I thought this was a really interesting post. 15 reasons why I'm single and happy. And she is 31 years old. So that would seem, I always thought like early 30s are physical prime for a woman. Hey folks, I'm a 31-year-old female and happily single. I just want to share all the reasons why and why I don't ever want to change this. So 31 and loves being single and doesn't want to ever be in a relationship again. Now, of course, these people could change their minds. Of course they could. But this kind of thing, saying I'm not interested in dating or whatever at such a young age, is really new, So she goes on. This journey started with a devastating breakup last year. It came out of nowhere for me when the woman I consider my soulmate and the love of my life thanked me for our 2.5 years together and informed me that we tried our best, but that she would be taking a few months before moving on to someone new. This happened after she let me know we were doing well and healing from previous difficulties we both had with long distance, boundaries, emotional distance, anxious attachment styles, money, mental health, and homophobia. There are two sides to every story, but I firmly believe we shared a life-changing love. And I mean, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a professional or an expert about anything. This is just my humble opinion on my humble channel, but I really hate it when people say that a relationship failed, because if you have a relationship that you consider a life-changing love, and the OP didn't say anything about failure, but a lot of people do feel like when a relationship breaks up, like, oh, it was a failure. And I never understood that, because the fact that it didn't work out until you both died doesn't negate the good lessons you learned, the wonderful times you had, the great experiences, that you got to see, do, be, and all of that with this other person. No one can take that away from you. And, everything in the known universe is finite. Nothing is forever. Okay, shut up, Dev. Let's move on. In many ways, being with her was the healthiest relationship I've ever had and was definitely the most joyful and fulfilling. I loved her more than anyone or anything, including my peace of mind. Yeah, I felt that way about my last guy. And I think the way I felt about him is a big reason why we broke up a couple of years ago. And it's a big reason why I just don't feel the need to run out and find a new relationship. I don't know, I'm content, It didn't work out between us. I did the breaking up, but I'm still content. I'm so thrilled I got to have that 4 years with him. We had a blast, but it was not sustainable for whatever reason. And that is the case for so many people. Okay, she goes on. I'm sharing this context to emphasize that it was not a bad or unhealthy relationship between us. It was passionate, intense, and complicated. It was one that brought us immense happiness despite our challenges. So the way it ended left me broken and grieving, on top of the fact that it ended at all, because we had planned to spend the rest of our lives together. I've done a lot of healing since then, although I have a long way to go. I've learned a lot. Even in the breakup, this relationship has shaped me to better realize what I want, what I am, and what I am not willing to compromise on, and how I want to live the rest of my life. Simply put, I have decentered romantic love. I want to live on my own, happily single for the rest of my life. Since being single, I have found happiness and shared it with others in these beautiful ways. So here are the 15 ways. 1, building resilient mental and emotional stability. Number 2, nurturing independence instead of codependency. Hey, yeah, how about it? Number 3, saving just a bit more money. Yeah, possibly. Number 4, experiencing new things all by myself, such as food, hiking trails, all sorts of art, community events, connecting with people from all walks of life. Number 5, working out for my own well-being, not to impress anyone else. 6, having plenty of time, free time left over, even after work and other responsibilities. 7, my lifelong passion of releasing music, albums, singles, and EPs. Oh, fulfilling my lifelong passion. Yeah, it's amazing the dreams people give up in order to be with a certain partner. It's tragic. And looking back through history, for the most part, women had to give up everything to go be with the guy they were marrying. My grandma is like the star of this channel because I talk about her so much. But she was adorable and brilliant and such a great lady. But she came from a farm. She was a little farm girl in Western Massachusetts and saw my grandpa and got a look at him and said, I'll take it. And so she had to convert to being Catholic because he's from a big, huge French Catholic family, and then move to his hometown and just have a whole different life away from her family. And so that is the story of so many women throughout history and even today. Because relationships require compromise. I mean, somebody's got to give, you know. 8, volunteering online and offline. Yeah, you have more time to do for others. And in talking about straight relationships, I mean, it just is sort of the way it is that for the most part, women are the caretakers. They caretake the man in certain ways. Number 9, making new friends thanks to shared hobbies. 10, not needing to ask for permission. Yeah, even if you're with in a totally healthy relationship, you don't have to ask permission, but you do have to consider someone else's feelings. And right now, at age 55, I don't give a shit about any guy's feelings. I don't want to have to consider anyone else's feelings. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I want to call my own shots. And that may change. I may want a relationship somewhere down the line. But right now, I choose to be single because it is the best way to be. Now, I'm not saying everybody should be single. Obviously, that would be impossible. But this content is really just to normalize the fact that it is totally okay for someone to choose not to have a partner and not to have children and not to have pets even if they don't want. It's totally fine. There are many paths in life, and it's just my humble opinion. But I think that at least in the US, we've gotten really tangled up in a lot of religious doctrine and stuff that tends to preach that there is only one way to live. And that's just it's not real. It's not the truth. Number 11, not being pressured to marry or move in together. Yeah, relationships. What is it in Annie Hall when they're on the plane and Woody Allen is saying, a relationship is like a shark. It has to keep moving forward. So there has to be like somewhere that you're going with it. Otherwise, it's not really a relationship. I mean, if you have a friend with benefits, great. If you have a situationship, great. But if that's not what you're looking for, then that's not really a relationship. At least in my opinion, I think relationships like go somewhere. Okay. Number 12, freedom from needing to align my life with someone else's, including the burdens, disappointments, conflicts, and emotional baggage, both ways, that come with that. Yeah, that's heavy. It is a relief to just only have to take care of yourself and your own emotions, and to be able to work on improving yourself instead of caretaking another person. 13, being way more available to be supportive and loving to family and friends who value me. 14, learning a 4th language. Hey, go girl. 15, reclaiming my energy and sense that I still have time left in my life to do what I love on my own terms. Oh my God, you're 31. You are a literal child. She goes on, like any human being, I get lonely. I miss connecting with another woman and knowing her deeply, just as she knows me. I miss intimacy, including sex. I miss sharing special moments with another person. I miss making plans that aren't just about me. But all these things aren't necessary for me to live a good and happy life. I am content without them and wouldn't compromise being single for anything or anyone ever again. I made this post to reaffirm and gladly share that being single is not some broken condition to fix. Hell yeah. It is a healthy, fulfilling, and happy way of life. Wishing everyone the same. That is so sweet. And that is so true. If you are a person who wants to be married and have a family, that's great. That's what you should do. But if you are a person who feels suffocated by the traditional way of life and you just want to take care of yourself and maybe some pets and do your thing, that's totally fine too. It takes all kinds of people to make a society. Uh, Okay, Sayonara Despair said, kudos, I know how it feels and what you went through when you live that deep, fulfilling love with someone, sharing and dreaming and building a life together. And then to see it fall apart really takes a toll on you, and it takes a while to get back on your feet. But once the fog lifts, it's a glorious feeling. The space that the end of a relationship opens also allows you to finally fully express yourself in your own terms, at your own pace, and you have a glorious creative outlet in music, which, by the way, I also play, and I'm finally now recording my first proper album. I have no fucking clue what tomorrow brings, but I'm enjoying the shit out of today. It's quiet and very peaceful most of the time. Wishing you a great day today and many great tomorrows, too. All these happy single women are all just so pleasant. I get your brand commented. This is so real and beautifully written. It is. Smoke Turtle. I had a different but similar breakup. Me and my last partner loved each other, and we had a deep, safe, healthy, passionate love, but we broke up because of long distance and other circumstances. They said I was the best boyfriend ever and that I was their first healthy love. The first month when we broke up, I could barely eat. I got severe insomnia. It took me a while to get my shit together, but now I have a new well-paying job and career. I found out now that they are dating somebody new. At first it hurt me, but after knowing who I was to this person, I just hope I was a good blueprint for what a good, loyal boyfriend is. LOL. Feel like my love was wasted, but at the same time, maybe not everything needs to be forever. There's no such thing as forever. There is no such thing as forever. Somebody leaves or somebody dies. That's the only two outcomes of any relationship. So just let yourself off the hook, enjoy it as long as it lasts, however long. For the foreseeable future, I will not be engaging in any romantic relationships, no dating apps, no dates, nothing. I want to focus on my financials and future, and maybe in my 30s, I'll date again. Turned 26 recently. Well, you are also a child, sir. Jenna Reddit said, loved seeing this. Horn dog asexual, love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, next up is also from the sub Single and Happy, and it's by user Wide Specialist, entitled, I've Truly Found Peace. I feel like I've truly come to the realization that I will always be happiest as a single woman. I agree, and that is not the case for everyone. In fact, that is probably not the case for the majority of women, but I started noticing in my 20s, in like my mid 20s, I started to notice that every time I broke up or there was a breakup with whatever guy I was dating, I just felt so relieved to be single and not have to be concerned with, what another person wanted for dinner or any one of the millions of reasons why being single appealed to me. And it was just so quiet and peaceful. Anyway, she goes on, no one I've dated has been able to compete with the level of care, compassion, and interest I've given myself. After taking some time to travel and reflect, I realized how much more liberated and peaceful I feel not worrying about trying to maintain relationships with men. Where these relationships were going, and the constant disappointment of not even having the most basic of expectations met. Yeah, there is a big cultural change that has occurred over the past, this century, past 20 years or so. Everything is just way more casual. and there's a lot less feeling of needing to uphold societal norms. People will ghost you as fast as they'll look at you. It's just a weird time, and choosing not to be involved in all of that is great. It's a relief. My time is so precious, and I foolishly wasted it on people who simply didn't care enough to return any courtesy or respect. The love I was looking for all along was always within myself. I also now have a greater value for platonic relationships with mutual care and consistent effort. I can appreciate that as well. I am single not because I have a problem with men. I love men. I've always been boy crazy. And in fact, I am the only girl in my family, so I have all brothers, and I have always had an easier time making friends with men. And so I have quite a few straight male friends. And we take care of our friendship as well as me and my female besties do. And I think for a lot of people, it's true that when you get involved in a relationship with someone, that your friendships kind of fall by the wayside, or you kind of disappear for a while, and that's rough. And anyway, they go on. It's funny how stepping out of the dating scene allows you to revisit yourself as a person, prioritize your own interests, and bring yourself back to a state of curiosity, gratitude, and whimsy for the world around you. We are so much more than what we can provide for others. Being someone's mother, wife, or girlfriend will never compare to the title of just being yourself. Amen, sis. A human being worthy of all the best life has to offer. Hell yeah. Somebody put that on a billboard. Coffee C. This is truly awesome. The love you seek is within you. You can give yourself everything and even more than a relationship can, and that makes you powerful. Yeah, that is true. I definitely advise any young women out there, if you've got self-esteem issues and people-pleasing stuff going on, as I did in spades when I was in my 20s, there's nothing wrong with choosing to be single. You're not wasting time. You're not losing time. Your 20s are, your brain is still developing. You can go out and make all the dumb mistakes you need to make and learn from them. Don't worry about it. You don't need to find the father of your kids if you want kids, the minute you graduate college. It is true that women who want kids often find themselves settling for, whoever is around that will be a decent father. Whereas if you don't want kids, you don't have that pressure. And I just feel like I've always felt more myself being single. And certainly relationships exist to teach us things about ourselves and show us where we lack confidence in ourselves. And it is true that people will treat you the way you treat yourself, or the way you settle for them treating you. So treat yourself well. There's nothing wrong with spending your 20s building yourself up and getting ready for, if you really want a relationship, take care of yourself first. What am I rambling about? My God. Budget solution. Exactly how I feel. You put it into words much better than I ever could. Orange Daisy. That's how I felt too. No escape. Thank you for expressing this so well. 10,000% agree. Lisa on the Hill. The most depressing moments of my life were when I was with a man. I gotta say, same. I mean, relationships are complicated. There's going to be tears. There's going to be pain, because you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable to be in a relationship with someone. The pressure, the controlling, even with a good man, I'm not made for this. Oh my God, Lisa, me neither. Me freaking neither. Okay, manufacturer, same. Even back when I thought I wanted marriage, I realized that I was the most stressed, anxious, angry, and depressed when dealing with men. But I felt the most peace when I was detached. Yep. Lisa on the Hill responded, I have friends and family, and I'm always here for them, even in dramas. But men, I just can't. They're exhausting. No arguments here. Okay, and finally, also from the Single and Happy sub, Candid Astronomer 904. To single women, being single is hip. I'm a 40-year-old woman, and now I'm finding out that more women than ever are single now and loving it. You have no one to take care of but yourself. Yeah, that's often like a wild new concept to a lot of women. And you have all this time to do what makes you happy. It's not selfish, it's a new era. For me, I went back to grad school after years of working a job that was drudgery, and I'm now getting ahead in my career and goals. Also, I'm making time for hobbies I love to do, like bird watching, being out in nature in general. I don't negate community though, and I do have a nice spiritual community that I'm part of. I had to search long and hard for a community that wasn't going to pressure me about marriage, double standards, and BS like that, and I found it. I'm so excited about this new chapter of my life. I, for too long, wanted a male partner. I'm straight. And now it seems more like a losing proposition for me. And I'm very grateful to have a family that doesn't put pressure on me to pair up either. And they want nothing but my happiness. My sister is also single by choice, and we're our ride or die. Lol. I just want to say it's hip to be single, especially as a woman. Hope we can all find our sense of inner peace and joy moving through the world on our own. I think that's a good place to leave it for today. Let me know what you think. I would really love to know what people out there think nowadays of the concept of marriage as an institution, as it has been. And what do you think about so many women choosing to be single? I mean, there's men as well who are choosing to forego marriage and kids. It's getting to be a very mainstream thing. But don't worry, because not everybody is going to choose not to have children. So the human race will go on for a while. In any case, I thank everyone who stops by to hear me talk shit on the internet. It really makes my day to see this channel grow, and I thank everyone who has helped with that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.